everybody, it's Nick Layton.
And it's Leah Bonema.
And we had so many great questions from you all in the wilderness. That we have a bonus episode, so here we go. Our first question is, quote, I understand that getting married on a Friday afternoon apparently cuts down on the cost for the couple getting married. But is this not pushing the cost of the wedding onto your guests? I have to take one of my precious days off because you want to save money. And I'm lucky enough to have some PTO, which some people do not. It seems to me that if you have a strict budget, it is more acceptable to keep your guest list small than to plan it on a day that requires people to take off work, and potentially more than one day if travel is involved. Of course, maybe they're just counting on people who have to work not showing up, and therefore saving them even more money. What do you think?
Interestingly, because I have a job that's not Monday through Friday.
True.
My friends also don't have that kind of job. It would be more accommodating for me to not get married on a Saturday or Sunday.
Yes, actually, the wedding that you want to be invited to is Tuesday at 10 a.m.
Yeah. Weekdays are my better wedding. So I've been taking work off for people who get married on weekends.
Oh, isn't that interesting? Yes, I mean, that's a great point.
And I don't think of it as, it's not rude to me in any way. It has nothing to do with me. I think this is when they're getting married and I can either go or not go.
Okay. All right. I think that's a very nice way to think about it. But it is true. Some people who are planning weddings do attempt to shift a lot of the cost of that event to their guests.
But the question is, are they doing that for sure?
I mean, a Friday afternoon wedding? I mean, it's a little...
Or is there other reasons why this works better for them? I don't think people have to go. If it doesn't work for you, you don't have to go.
Yeah, I mean, that's really true. And I think when you're planning the wedding, you just have to decide, oh, is the date and time and location we've selected, are most people going to be able to attend that? Is that going to be able to include everybody we want there? That's really the question.
I think that if I was getting married in the middle of the week, which would accommodate my schedule and a lot of my friends' schedules, people who had Monday through Friday, if they were like, I can't take work off, I would be like, totally get it. Obviously.
Yeah.
But I wanted to make sure you knew you were invited.
Yeah, I think if the spirit is inclusivity, like we want as many people on our guest list to actually be able to attend. And we're going to try to have a date and time that encourages that. But we understand we cannot accommodate everybody. Then I think that's fine. If the purpose of having that inconvenient time is actually for the express purpose of hoping people won't show up, then that's a different story.
But I just don't imagine that that's what it is. It is possible that people have a very strict budget and this is their only option. And then that's their only option.
Right. Yeah, that's true.
I do think if you get the idea that somebody is trying to push the cost onto their guests, that's gross.
Yeah.
And I wouldn't want to go.
Yeah.
I think we're trying to give everybody the benefit of the doubt. They were trying to make it work, but it's also okay if that doesn't work for me.
Right. I think that's the way to think about it.
And if it's blatantly that they're just trying to be like, I'm going to make it difficult for everybody else, then you wouldn't want to go anyway. Just don't go.
Yeah. And then you don't have to send a gift. So win-win. So our next question is, quote, I am curious about footwear when working from home. I teach private music lessons, and occasionally students come to my house when my regular studio space is unavailable. I have small children, and my students also demonstrate common human decency. So visitors automatically take their shoes off when they enter my house. I have well-groomed feet, and as it is my dwelling place, I am either slippered or barefoot at home, depending on the season. For context, my feet typically stay at the piano pedals, but my students have to stand behind me. I can either talk to them through a mirror, or I must turn around to see them, thus displaying my feet. It's an upright piano in the corner, so there's no way to rearrange the setup. It feels like an etiquette faux pas to have bare feet while I'm working around other people, but they are barefoot. It also feels wrong to be wearing shoes inside. Am I supposed to be wearing shoes?
Are we visualizing that there are socks in this scenario or are there no socks?
I mean, I'm picturing bare feet, which means feet. I'm seeing feet.
But like, what happened to socks?
Oh, I think there's a lot in between bare feet and shoes here that we could be talking about.
Yeah, I feel like we have so much choice in between bare feet and shoes.
Yeah, no, there's a huge amount of range.
And I think that's the answer.
Yes. I think we wear some sort of shoe covering, perhaps a house slipper.
Even just like a little sock.
And she even says, sometimes I wear slippers depending on the season. Well, I think regardless of the season, if you're having a student over, put some slippers on.
And I'll take socks.
Yes, I think socks also work. Some covering. And I think for your guests, it is also very courteous to offer them slippers too. So they don't have to be barefoot either.
Also, I mean, some people are just bare feet people.
Sure.
And they're saying their students are bare feet. So if this is like a bare feet house, but then you're saying you feel aware of it. So then if you're aware of it, like you feel sort of uncomfortable about it, then I would go slippers, socks.
Well, I think we want to be on the same level as our guest. Because it's sort of like if you have slippers, but they're barefoot, that's kind of like I'm having a dinner party and I'm eating off of fine china, but I'm giving all of you paper plates. And we should all be using the same dishware. So I feel like if you're doing the slipper thing, I kind of want to be able to do the slipper thing too.
No, I agree with that. What I'm saying is it feels like in this scenario, everybody's already walking around with bare feet.
Yes. Well, in this scenario, this is a no-shoe household. And so we're taking off our shoes.
Yes, but we're also not wearing socks and neither are our students.
Right. Okay. So this is just a barefoot lifestyle.
So this is already a barefoot lifestyle.
Okay. So then let's just all be barefoot. Is that what you're saying?
So, no, well, I want to know what prompted our letter writer to feel like, should we all be wearing socks or shoes?
Well, I think it's because there's a tension between being a host and being a professional and sort of the tension between the two things. Because in a professional setting, we're going to be wearing shoes. As a host in my home, sure, this is a no-shoe lifestyle, and so that's what we're doing. And so the question is like, how do we merge these two ideas? Because I'm a host in my home, but I'm also a professional providing a service.
No, I understand that. What I'm saying is clearly they've been bare feeding for a long time.
Yes, that's true.
So then now they're like, should we not be bare feeding? But everybody seems to be bare feeding because the students are bare feeding.
Well, it just comes down to, do you not feel professional enough in bare feet? Do you feel like you want, as a professional service provider, to have your feet covered in some way? If that's the case, then I think we're doing slippers.
Yeah, and then also I like when Nick said, if we're going to do slippers, offer slippers to everybody.
Yeah. So we're all in the same playing field.
Yes.
Okay. So our next question is, quote, when my in-laws stay with us, they generally do not participate in daily chores, like putting dishes in the dishwasher. They visited a half dozen times since we've had our now 1-year-old child. Given that we're busy parenting, it would be kind for them to at least tidy up after themselves, or even better, to do a chore that we'd otherwise need to do, like empty the dishwasher, wipe a counter, or sweep a floor. To clarify, they aren't really taking a load off of our parenting shoulders either, as they hesitate to step in to take care of the baby. Is my expectation for being a guest unreasonable? Or is there a way I can ask them to be better house guests?
This is a fresh baby.
Yeah.
And it would be nice if when you're handling all the newborn baby stuff, that somebody didn't actually add to the work you were doing.
Yeah. I think there's a lot that's not being said in this letter.
Yeah, it feels like this is a delicate way.
Like, this is just some highlights about like, oh, there's like some issues with like chores, not helping out. But
because I do feel like when people have fresh children, new babies, and people come to visit, they're coming to help take a load off.
Yeah, I think any house guest within the first X number of months.
Within the first 18 years.
Right? Yeah. Definitely you want to try to not make things worse.
Yeah, you're going to cook a meal, help me help clean up.
Yeah.
Can I run a few errands?
So, yeah, clearly that is not happening here.
So how we handle it, you know me, I would prefer to go through the spouse whose parents it is.
So is this the bottom of in-law rule being evoked?
I mean, I'm happy for my spouse to put it on me and be like, hey, Leah's sort of, you know, we have a lot going on with the new kid. So if you guys want to come over, if you could help out around the house.
Right. Yeah, I think that's a nice way to put it.
You can still put it on me. You're welcome to throw me under the bus, but I feel like the spouse needs to say it.
Right. Yeah, they have to be the one to relay that message.
Or, I mean, I hate to like just step out of the rule that I've been saying this whole time. I mean, I would always go there first, but if you're just like overwhelmed and you're like your parent, you know, you could be like, hey, Chad and Lisa, you know, there's so much going on with the new kid and there's a lot going on. Like, it's not a good time for a visit right now because I can't handle you guys and the baby.
Okay. I mean, I think there's a nice way to put it. But yeah, I guess that could be one way to approach it, which is like, we don't want you visiting because we have a lot to do and you don't really make it easier for us and you don't pitch in. So like, don't come.
But I think the ideal way to do it is to go through the spouse and say, hey, we have so much happening right now. We're exhausted. When you're here, could you help lighten the load?
Yeah, I think when an invitation is being issued, I think that could be a way to sort of approach it. Once they're already in your house, I think we can actually be polite and direct and just assign them things. Because I think a lot of times guests, it doesn't occur to them like, oh, maybe I should be helpful. A lot of guests sometimes are like, oh, I just want to be out of the way. I don't want to get in the way. And so if you're just like, hey, would you mind taking the baby for a walk while we clean up after lunch? Here's the stroller. And just be very specific.
Yeah, I love that idea.
That might actually do the trick. As opposed to like a vague, like, oh, would you help out? Like, no, help out with what specifically? Here's the Swiffer. Let me show you where the vacuum is. Would you mind tidying up the kitchen floor?
Yeah, I love that. And I think our letter writer could just say that, hey, I got to take the baby for a walk. Can you please unload the dishwasher while we're out?
Yeah. Yeah, I think we just assign them specific tasks. And if they want to just be upset about it, well, then like, that is not on you.
Agreed.
Because these are not house guests. That is actually the wrong word here. These are close family members. This is a slightly different category of guest.
And it's during a very particular time of life.
Right. And the whole point of you being in my house is you presumably want to spend time with your new grandchild. But part of that means you also need to help out a little bit.
I think the trick is we make it about our needs and not their failings.
Okay. Good framing.
Like we're in the, we have a new baby. We have a lot happening. We'd love to have you. But I feel sort of overwhelmed having another person, finding other words for needs to take care of.
Mm-hmm.
But something. So like letting them know if they're more than welcome, but they can't add.
Right. Yes, you cannot make my life more complicated.
But make it about your needs.
Yeah, I think that's a good way to approach it, yes. And just as an etiquette reminder, both guests and hosts have their parts to play. Guests do have obligations as guests. And one of those obligations is to not make your host's life harder. And so that can come in many different forms. But you do need to sort of be aware of the rhythms of the household in which you are a guest. And you need to try to adapt to that as best you can. They should also try to make you comfortable too, so it goes both ways. But as a guest, you are obligated to pay attention to what's happening. And I guess that is what is not happening here, and that is why this is an etiquette problem. So our next question is, quote, can I, as an American, sing along to O Canada when it's played? I think it's beautiful and I know all the words, but it feels a little weird, even though obviously every singer of anthems at games is not a dual citizen.
I don't know why you couldn't.
Well, before we get there, do you know O Canada, having gone to school in Canada?
I do. I lived in Canada.
Do you know it en français?
I think if it started playing, I could get in it.
You could get into it. Okay. Well, Amy Vanderbilt actually weighed in on this specific question. And when talking about what Americans are allowed to do, she says, they may sing the anthem if they wish. Many Americans seem to know Marseillaise and God Save the Queen, but they need not actually salute any but their own flag.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. I feel like probably we do the hand on the heart.
Mm-hmm.
We save that one.
Uh-huh.
And then we feel free to sing along with everybody.
So regarding the French anthem and the UK anthem, do many Americans know these?
I would assume more Americans know the UK anthem.
Sure. Yes. The number of Americans that know the French national anthem, I mean, I can't imagine it was that many in Amy Vanderbilt's day. Certainly today, I think that number is quite small.
Well, I think the way people learn other people's anthems is through sporting events.
Yes. And I guess there aren't a lot of French professional sports teams playing in the United States.
I think that we should have a running list of all the countries that you've slightly offended. I don't think that any French teams are making it that far, is what Nick's just said there.
Oh, do you want to watch the French national hockey team?
I'm kidding. But I mean, football, soccer in America, people are watching it so much more.
That's true.
I mean, people are just more exposed
right
to other anthems.
Right. Now, I think if you're at a diplomatic event, it's not a game, then I think we just stand politely at attention. I don't think we're singing along to somebody else's anthem.
But our letter writer, it's in her heart.
Uh-huh.
And I think if you just want to, just sort of.
You're at a dinner party for the ambassador to France and you want to sing along? I guess if you're one of those Americans that knows the words.
Well, I just don't understand why that would make anybody feel bad. I think it might make them feel appreciated.
Yeah, I think it would be in that spirit. So I guess it would be technically fine.
I mean, I wouldn't do it like I was a boozy hostess, throwing my hands up. But if you just want to like politely,
Fair enough. Now, you mentioned hand on heart. And so that is a very American thing. And it's important to remember that like only Americans do that for the anthem. And so you would not have hand on heart for somebody else's anthem.
Right. We would only do it for ours.
And fun fact, this is actually relatively new, this hand on heart thing.
No, I didn't know that.
It's only from the 40s. Yeah, before, I think it's 1942, there was something called the Bellamy Salute because Bellamy wrote the Pledge of Allegiance. And the salute was an outstretched right arm with the palm down.
Well, we can't do that anymore.
Leah's making a face. Right, because that salute looks awfully close to the Nazi salute. And so in the 1940s, Congress passed a law which was like, oh, we're not doing that anymore. And so that's when the hand on heart thing happened. And so
I'm glad we made that change.
Right. So that's why we made that change. And so that's why also we're really the only nation on the planet that does that. Everybody else just sort of like either salutes or you have your hands like by your side. But the hand over heart thing, yeah, that's just for us.
I'm not against a little bit of a shoulder.
Do you have a favorite anthem that's not the American one? Like globally, is there a song that's does it for you?
Do I have them loaded up on my iPod?
Is that
Mini?
not a Spotify playlist you often listen to?
Is that not an Apple playlist that I have?
I will say, I actually have listened to most of the anthems in the world because I kind of went down that rabbit hole once. A lot of them are actually quite spectacular. I think some of my favorites include the Italian one. I think the Italian one's actually pretty solid. Obviously, France, Canada, UK. I mean, these are great. German's good. There's a European EU anthem, Ode to Joy. That's pretty solid. I mean, to have Beethoven write your anthem, like that's pretty good.
It's very solid.
I mean, that's solid. A+ anthem. The Japanese anthem, also very interesting. They play it before baseball games, and it is not necessarily sort of like this upbeat, fast tempo anthem. Also a little controversial. Long story, we can talk about it another day. But very interesting to be at a baseball game in Osaka, and then they play the anthem. It's like, oh, that's interesting.
I think we all want to know why it's controversial. You can't like tease it out.
Well, it sort of is more imperial than some people would like.
Oh, I got you.
And so that's kind of why.
Okay.
There you go.
I hear what you're putting out.
That's it. So our next thing is, I guess, a recap. What is this? What do we call this?
I would call this an extra detail, a more in-depth. It's a deep dive into a previous question.
Okay.
It's an inner look.
Okay. It's a exploration. We're
really going to open the envelope and take a look inside this question. We're really going to pull back the flaps.
Okay. Well, what we're talking about is, quote, I recently listened to the episode wherein you discussed the proper way to place a card in an envelope, and I have a couple of questions. In the episode, I understood you to say that the proper way is to put the folded side down and the front of the card face out, so that when you open the envelope, that's the first thing you see. If this is correct, I am wondering if these rules change for any reason. For example, there are many cards now that have pop-out features such as flowers, etc., that stick out from the front of the card. These features catch on the envelope if you put them in face out. So, in this case, is it okay to face the card the other way? Additionally, if you stuff the card with something such as pictures or money or some sort of insert, is it still proper to leave it fold down? Or would it be better to have it folded up so that if the inserted items fall out, they fall into the envelope instead of onto the floor?
It's so hard for visual people like myself. You're like, what is up? What is down?
Yes.
What does top mean?
Yes. So let me walk you through it.
Let's walk through from the beginning again while answering our letter writer's questions.
This is important. This matters, people. This is crucial. And so
crucial seems like maybe a little overstep.
So what we're talking about is a card that is folded. So this is not a correspondence card. It's not a flat thing. It is folded. So there's a fold. Okay. And so the fold goes down. That goes into the envelope first. That is at the bottom of the envelope. And why we do this? Many reasons. I believe the letter opener reason is a good one. I use a letter opener. Everyone should. Only animals rip it with their fingers. And so, yes, animal. Yes, use a letter opener. And so if you do the fold down, I will not slice through your beautiful card with my letter opener. So that's one reason. The inserts. This is a great question. Should the inserts fall into the envelope or onto the floor? They should fall onto the floor because I cannot tell you how many times I've actually received cards from people where the fold is up. They put something in the card and I didn't see it because it fell into the envelope, and I'm not always checking the envelope, making sure there's nothing else in the envelope. Now I do, but not everybody does.
And then the top of the card, like the part of the card that you would look at first.
The design.
The design.
Yes, what we're going to call the front.
The front.
Yes.
Facing back or on the side where you're writing the address?
This is, I think, where people are getting tripped up because it's hard to visualize it from words. So I'm holding an envelope and I see my address and the stamp. And so I'm going to flip it around. We are going to call this the back of the envelope.
Back of the envelope.
I slice it open and I stick my fingers into the top and I'm pulling the card out of the envelope. I should see the design.
Okay.
In this orientation.
All right.
Because I think everybody opens envelopes from the back, right? I guess that's an interesting question. I think everybody does, but why? Why do people do that? But it's true.
But in your scenario,
that's what we're doing.
You are putting the back of the card to the front of the envelope.
The goal is, as I'm taking the card out of the envelope, I want to see the design first. Don't make me rotate. Don't make me flip it over. I should just have a clean pull and I should see the design.
Yes, the thing is that you are basing that on the idea that everybody's opening the envelope from the back.
I am doing that, and I think I have to look inward on that because is that true? I am making the assumption.
I have an envelope right here, and I'm just going to grab it and see what I normally do.
Okay, great. Yeah, grab that envelope, Leah.
Oh, it's a Christmas card.
Okay, and for listeners, we are not anywhere near Christmas time.
Just for listeners, so you know, I have not been in my home in Los Angeles, so I'm literally going through mail from 3 months ago. I am actually pulling it from the front.
Yeah, I mean, Leah, you're not the right person for this demo because I think nobody does that. I think, okay.
Oh, this is such a sweet card. I'm so glad I opened it.
I think most people do open cards from the back. I think that is my assumption. So I guess, is that true? I think it's true.
Probably 90% of people do, and 10% of us are iconoclasts.
Now, do you think you do it because you're left-handed? Does that play into this at all? No.
No, I'm opening it with my right hand.
Yeah. Okay. So I don't know what to do about that. For everybody else, I do feel like we do open envelopes from the back. And so in that case, the principle that we're trying to achieve here is that the design is facing me as I'm opening it. So I guess if we live in a world in which everybody's opening envelopes from the front and I'm the iconoclast, well then, okay, I guess you do it the other way. Right? But I don't think we live in that world.
Well, I have no idea. I don't have the facts on statistically how people are opening letters in the privacy of their own home.
Okay, well, you really threw a wrench in this.
That's literally what I'm here for. But that being said, I understand why the fold is going down.
Okay, we agree, fold down. Now, the question about pop-up cards and things that might catch on the flap. I think that unless it's going to catch on the way out of the envelope, unless that sort of flap edge is going to be problematic for the design, I think we still do it in the same orientation. Or a lot of those pop-up designs do actually come with a piece of tissue or paper that you put on top of the design as it's going into the envelope for this purpose.
Just remember, they usually need an extra stamp.
Sometimes they do, yes.
Irregular shape.
Now, related to this, I actually got a letter in the mail from somebody who had a horizontally oriented card. And their question was like, given that is the design, is it still appropriate to have the fold down? And yes, it is. I think no matter which way the design is printed on the card, it still faces you, the recipient, when it goes into the envelope.
Okay.
Yeah. But etiquette is like poetry. So these are the rules as I see them. And so
maybe these are maybe the rules on this one.
Well, they are the rules, except for the idea of which way do people open envelopes. That, I think, is just like the one wild card that you've introduced today, which I was not prepared for. But the rule is that the design should face the recipient when they open it. I think that's the rule no matter what. And I think the fold goes down. That's the rule no matter what. So it's just a question of which way do people open envelopes?
Where did you get these rules?
I think Judy would agree with me. I think Emily's on my side on this one. Totally, Tish has my back. I think Amy is cool. She'd be down.
Okay.
Right?
I don't know.
Yeah. Well, okay. I have come up with them. Put me on the etiquette Mount Rushmore alongside these people. This is my rule. This is the latent rule for envelope stuffing.
Okay.
Okay. Go with it. I mean, don't go with it. Does not affect my life at all how you do this. So, actually, is that true? No, it does affect my life. Yeah, it does. So, at least if you send me mail, do it this way.
Yeah, because Nick doesn't want to have to move his wrist.
Thank you. Thank you. Oh, finally, I feel seen. So that's envelope stuffing. I don't know what else to say. Hopefully this is clear.
You know what's really clear is that I can't wait to text these people and say I absolutely love your Christmas card from a gazillion months ago.
Exactly.
I just got to opening it.
So you out there, do you have anything you want clarified? Let us know. And you can send us questions, vents, repents, we'll take it all. Send it to us through our website, reraisedbywolves.com, or you can send me a letter, inserted the right way, or you can leave us a voicemail or send us a text message, 267-CALL-RBW. And we'll see you next time.
Bye.
Bye.